This episode, I'm going to be going over each of the characters' introductions, all of them, because I didn't do that at the beginning. Start with Outlander and Fear and Hunger, normal, and we're just playing the intro. Alright, so we've already read this. Actually, no, it's a good idea to read for me this now because I have so much context about this game that everything is going to make sense. You were born with the soul of the tormented. You are destined to struggle in every step you take in life. Ultimately, this makes you stronger physically. Okay, so just character background. Nothing to do with fear and hunger. You had a balanced childhood in the city. Okay, there we go. City of Oldegard, with both your parents always present. Your father taught you in the art of war. The very first step was to choose your weapon. So the very first time I picked axe and shield. I'm going to go with bow and arrow. You get a short bow and 5 arrows. Interesting. So if you pick the other one, I think you'll get the axe and shield. Winters grew colder. Summers... I've already read this. Blah, blah, blah. We're going on a sail. We'd set sail on a ship. And then at some point the crew got hungry and then they died. And then you're like, okay, let's devour. Should we devour them? No, yes. So last time, I think we said don't give in. But this time we're going to try devouring. So we learned devour. Okay. Interesting. As if the trip wasn't gloomy enough, when you finally found land, it was something no one in this civilized world could have imagined from the far reaches of the land. Okay, so we go to Vinland, and then we pick something up, and then that kind of curses us, and then when we bring that back to the village, everyone just dies, right? Yeah, here it is. So we have the option of taking stuff back. So last time I said this one, I'm going to say take souvenirs. Oh... Wow, there's a coin flip in the intro. Interesting. Let's go with heads. I'm gonna have to do this all again because I have to see what happens if... Oh, I see. Okay, so I guess if you succeed, you get a soul stone. That's the souvenir. That's it. Wow. An ancient artifact was brought from the Dark Continent. You knew it was a mistake, but the choice wasn't in your hands. You knew something bad would follow sooner or later. Yeah, so now this is the part where your village is cursed because you brought it back. And then a mercenary, which we now know was Lagarde, raided your village. And someone tells you about it. It was a captain, and then you're like, oh, I'm so mad. I'm gonna go get this captain. And then this is new too. Or this is something I also... I think we stocked up on equipment last time. Oh no, on food. So I think let's go with equipment first. You get 3 iron arrows and a bear trap. Ah, interesting. You learn that the man has ever... Okay, so we've already known this. I mean, we already seen this. So this is Lagarde. Save your character? No. Okay, and so this is... Wow, we look so young. Because we look pretty decrepit from those ruin attacks from the specters. So here's your short bow. I don't remember having a short bow. Wow, this is interesting. A short compact bow requires 2 hands to use. If you have iron arrows, you can shoot with shift. Interesting. And then what else? Anything else in our... Whoops. Anything in our skills? Talk, war cry, devour. Okay, so we get devour because we ate our teammates. And then here are our stuff. So you can use shift to shoot. Let's just try that right now. Let's shoot this horse. Interesting. Okay, so it goes like 6, 7 things in front of you. I wonder if you can shoot enemies with it. Just want to try it. So there should be some manebas up here. Hopefully yeah, it should be right around... There it is. Okay, and then if I shoot it with this, you hit the creature and manage to wound it. It's 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. I just used all of our arrows. Oh, I see. So you can wound enemies with arrows like this, but it will only take off 1 body part. No more than that. Interesting. Okay, so that was all for that run. Now I'm going to start a new run. So let's try to fail this. So please heads, or please tails. Please tails. Yes. What? Heads, you get a soul stone. Or you succeed, you get a soul stone. You fail, you get a soul stone. What was the point of that? Ooh, there it is. I understand now. So if you fail, you form panophobia. What? Right at the start? That's kind of cruel. Ridiculous. Anyways, so we read this, and then we're going to make a different decision and stock up on healing items. 4 blue herbs, white wild, and 2 cloth fabrics. Okay. You learn blah blah blah. Anything new? Nope, no, nothing new. It's just all items. Okay. Okay, and then the final one here, rush after him. You learn that the man has since been taken into the dungeons. Okay. So we already seen that. So what did rush do? Did we learn anything new? By rushing? Did we learn dash, perhaps? What was the point of rushing? Ah, I got some more context online. So you get dash normally, but if you take the souvenir from Vinland, you don't get dash. Okay, so we're not going to touch... we're not going to take the souvenirs. I guess that's just the way of game of punishing the character for doing immoral acts, like taking souvenirs. Alright, so I'm going to... There we go, you learn dash. Wow. You would have never known about this. Starting this as a new person. There's just too much. Oh my god, that feels good. Look at that dash. Amazing. Okay, so done with the Outlander. Gonna do the Dark Priest now. Dark Priest. Fear and Hunger. The intro. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I've pretty much explored everything in the game. I've killed all the gods. There's actually 4 enemies. Oh no, 3 enemies I've missed. The Black Witch, Yellow King, and Traces of Sylvian. So I have to at some point get those, I think. Okay, so this trait started to show... Oh, why did I skip that? This trait started to show itself at a very young age as you were chosen to become a Dark Priest upon the birth of you and your twin sister. Ooh. So I bet Nosramis is the twin sister then. Typical to such occult rites, you were pitted against your sibling with ritual daggers and challenged to fight each other to the very last breath. Oh, that's sad. Unfortunately for you, you were born with a fragile body, and your sister easily overpowered you and had her dagger on your neck waiting for the final blow. Uh-oh. She, however, showed mercy and withdrew her dagger. She stepped away from you as your high priest masters glared gleefully at the event unfolding before their eyes. Damn, what a bunch of savages. Let's always go for the first option and then just pick the second one. Strike your dagger to her spine while she walks away. You stroke your... Oh, this is such a scummy move. You stroke your dagger to the spine of your sister and she collapsed on the ground. The high priest seemed especially pleased with this and prepared for your ascension ceremony. So basically, they like seeing really scummy behavior, I guess. In the ascension ceremony, you were to resurrect your deceased sister with necromancy and use... What the hell? Damn, and use her as a ghoul. You did this, and the cold corpse of your sister brought a smile to your otherwise emotionless face. What the hell? You learned necromancy from that decision. After your ascension to dark priesthood, you were to leave the temple grounds and learn occult on your own in your dark pilgrimage. When beginning your self-studies, you first had to choose the god you dedicate your time to. Let's go first option. For Gurgoth, you traveled across the western continent learning about the different gods, deities, blood magic, and all known scientists. Your studies didn't come without merits. You were acknowledged by the top scholars of the modern times. You were finally granted a pass to the great libraries of the Kingdom of Brondon. You now had a collection of all known history and science at your grasp. You were super smart. You learned a certain man who was prophetized to begin a new era for mankind, a man meant for greatness. But why would you need to share the spotlight of the gods with any mortal man? Prophecies are only for those who are weak enough to bend their sorry fates. You need to find this man and learn more. To your current knowledge, he would be found imprisoned at the notorious dungeons of fear and hunger. So he's looking for the Nosramis then? You decided to stock up before your travels. Because the sister died, that confirmed that Nosramis is not the sister. Let's do first option, medical. Soulstone, and is that it? Alright. So you start out with necromancy, that's really good. No, let's just see our starting stuff. Okay, so nothing new. Short sword, high priest robe. We've already seen this. And then how about abilities? Necromancy, counter magic. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we're at this dialogue now. Accept your defeat. The dark priests go no place for the weak, so you were thrown down to an underground well. There you were meant to quietly wither away. Instead, you fed on insects and other small critters that shared your fate down in darkness. Are we in the... No, we're not. We're not in the fair hunger. Just forgot. With time, you learned to understand the language they spoke. You learned mastery over insects. Ooh, that's neat. With the aid of your new slaves, you eventually grew strong enough to climb up the well. You creeped upstairs to the temple and noticed it was nighttime. Oh geez, more dialogues. Set the temple on fire and leave. Vengeful in how you had been treated, you set up a temple on fire, jammed the exit door so no one could escape, and then ran away. Only muffled screams could be heard coming from the temple. You learned pyromancy trick. Wow. After leaving the temple grounds, you vowed to become a dark priest on your own merits and prove your fate wrong. When beginning your self-studies, you first had... Okay, so go Sylvian this time. You traveled... So I think that makes it... Raise your affinity with one of the gods, I bet. By 1. You travel across the case, so we already read this. You were finally dodged. Okay, learned... Yep, we've already seen this. And then let's do intoxicants. You get a pipe and opium powder. Nice. I'm gonna check again to see if there's anything new. Pipe, opium powder as advertised. No new equipment. And then mastery over insects. There it is. Alright. This is the very first deck I skipped. You were born with the soul of the enlightened. You are always seeking restlessly for new knowledge and secrets hidden from the common folk. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, I'm gonna crossroads again. Pray for Almir. Anything new? Nope, no new. And then let's pick the other one. Healing items. What does that get us? Blue vial and 2 cloth fragments. Everyone seems to be getting that. Okay, so we have the option of setting the temple on fire or just leaving. So we're going to do the second option, quietly leave and run away without revenge. You quietly left the temple or area thinking that revenge wouldn't solve anything, but in order to make sure you survive on your own, you took some precious books to secure your wealth. You get Alchemia, Volume 1. After leaving the temple ground, you become a dark priest on your own merits and prove your fate wrong. When beginning your self-studies... Oh, okay, and then I've already seen this. Go to God of Depths. No difference. And then finally... rush straight after him. Does this give you dash? Okay, so everyone seems to be capable of learning dash. I'm curious what happens if you don't play the intro. Okay, so what is the difference? What did we learn? Ah, okay, so it gives you necromancy and counter. Okay, so it just chooses an intro for you by default. All right, so we're doing Darcy now, and I just realized Enki is soul of enlightened, so he's connected to Valtiel. Here we get the saying Darcy was born with the soul of domination, so he's connected to Francois. That makes people around you bend to your will. You're a natural leader, but you might often end up blind to self-criticism, so we're cocky. Your birth sign wasn't enough to warrant a future for your greatness. You were also born into a wealthy noble family. At an early age, you were sent into training to become a holy knight of Kingdom of Rondon. Training to become a squire was harsh, school that spared no one, no matter if you were from the noble origin or not. Practice sparring match between you and a well-seasoned squire took place at the central training grounds. It said that the fighter shows their true colors in their first fight. This applied to you too. When you saw the sword coming your way, you quickly stepped aside and dodged it. You learned fast stance. As time went on, you proved out to be a gifted fighter and a valuable asset to the kingdom. However, the kingdom of Rondon claimed to follow the will of the gods in pursuits for more power, but all the rewards seemed to fall into the laps of elite and the noble sitting comfortably behind the castle walls. Those scum, they're just making other people do their dirty work. Ruthlessly, the kingdom would expand its reign, reducing the feeble citadels to ashes and bloodstains, enslaving the poor women folk, whilst every man is slain. Only spare a child or two, that its legend may grow. Your devotion was shaken. You were all but ready to retire from the army, but your family insisted. No, they demanded you stay as a holy knight, or else you'd bring great shame to their noble family. Break ties with family and run away. At this point, the family ties waited No more than strangers you met at the dirty streets of Rondon, you completely cut ties with your family without hesitation. Just as you were about to flee from the army, things took an unexpected turn for you. You met a captain of a small mercenary army who seemed to share the same ill will towards the kingdom of Rondon as you did. It's Captain Lagarde. The common folk was starting to gather around charismatic leader Lagarde, who shared humble origins similar to farmers and villagers alike. There was definitely something otherworldly in his stature. Lagarde saw potential in you, and with warm words, he almost seduced you to join his band of mercenaries. Thanks to your rigorous discipline, you took a high position in his army in the Knights of the Midnight Sun, so we were crushed on Lagarde. Damn. Your army was growing fast in both size and influence in the western regions. The kingdom of Rondon would first use your services to their own benefit, but as soon you saw more as a possible threat to their modern reigns, something changed with Lagarde as well. He kept more to himself and studied ancient texts and occult. He became obsessed with relics and artifacts that gave you ominous feelings and terrible nightmares. Things would only spiral towards the madness more when Lagarde decided to raid the northern capital Oldegard without a warning. Oh, this is where we raid Outlander's village. Without a warning or negotiations, Lagarde killed everyone who stood in the way between him and this mysterious ancient lyric. It was this small overblow that was enough of an excuse for the kingdom of Rondon to turn common folk against Lagarde and justify his imprisonment. As the troops of the Rond... Oh, that's so cool. So we get to see the timelines just kind of matching. This is exactly after Outlander saw the events. As the troops of Rondon army marched towards your clearly smaller army, you had to choose which position to take in this encounter. Take the rear and manage defenses. You get a long sword and an eagle crest shield. You get also a plate mail and leg guard. Wow, that's amazing. The Knights of the Midnight Sun lost the fight. Many of your comrades were slain, but you managed to escape the battlefield. Lagarde was taken as a captive and to be used most likely as a propaganda. You know you didn't have much time before he could be sentenced to death, so you had to act fast. Even if it seemed like a suicide mission, you decided to save Lagarde from the prisons he was held in. Before leaving your desperate journey, you decided to stock up on your items. Stock up on equipment, 7 tinderboxes, quill, and a blue vial. Damn, Darcy, that was very lengthy. And also, Darcy has like a lot of, probably the best equipment out of everyone, right? Quill is really good. Yeah, very nice. High defense, 86, Jesus Christ. And then abilities. Wow. Darcy is amazing. Okay, so here's the first branch. Raise your buckler in defense. You learn defense stance. Ooh, okay. Okay, so we already seen this. Okay, so we can break from a family. We did last time. And then listen to your family and stay as a holy knight. Let's see what happens. You swallowed your grief and doubt and decided to stay up as a holy knight. In the end, you could try to fix things up from the inside, you figured. Your family gave you 20 silver coins. That's very nice of them. Just as things seemed dark, you saw a light in the darkness. You met a captain of a small... Okay, we've already seen this. Okay, and then so we did defense first. Now we're going to do offense. Spearhead the coming assault. You get Iron Spear. And then you also get an Iron Cuirass and an Arm Guard. So different stuff we're getting. A Knight in the Lost Fight. Did we see this? Okay, and then stock up on food. Rush straight after him. Do we get dash? No dash! Why not? Okay, so online source says to get the dash ability, you have to break ties with your family and run away, which makes sense. Finally, we have Cahara. Let's see what kind of shenanigans he's gonna give us in the intro. You were born with the soul of the endless. There it is, soul of endless. I think this is the dream guy, Nilven. That makes you yearn for the freedom and forces you to push your creativity to its limits. You put your creativity to test in the most harshest of environments. You were born and soon abandoned in the capital of Eastern Sanctuaries, Jataya. You had to choose at a very young age to either become a pickpocket, burglar, or try to struggle and lead an honest life. Become a pickpocket. Your life spent learning thievery certainly didn't go to waste. You learned to live with constant fear and danger over the years. The crude streets of Jataya teach you valuable lessons. You learned steal. As you grow older, you took part in various mercenary armies and learned the dirtiest tricks to stay alive. You were taken in by a notorious veteran highwayman and you joined his little band of criminals and ex-soldiers. During one of your many raids, your brigade got ambushed and the odds were seriously against you. You could have just abandoned your comrades and kept your life, or you could fought to your last breath. Abandon your comrades. You learn escape plan. I think this ability allows you to escape from fights with higher percentage or almost guaranteed 100%. You traveled across the land in your raids and eventually settled down in Kingdom of Rondon, where silver was loose as long as you were up for getting your knife dirty. One day you got an ominous task from the officials of Kingdom. You are to be paid well in silver if you get a captain of a fabled mercenary army out of the dungeons of Rondon itself. So this is how Cahara got involved in this. Interesting. From the dungeons of fear and hunger, the morbid place has been used as a wartime prison by the kingdoms, and for some reason they need an outside sword like yourself to infiltrate their own stronghold. Something is clearly not right about this mission, and you have felt nausea since the moment you agreed on the job, but you are short on silver and the reward is all that matters in the end. You spend all your night in the kingdom. Go drinking and get laid in the brothel. A lot of options. Let's do the first one. You get a wine vial, bottle of whiskey and ale. A lot of alcohol. You also get an itch in your groin area. Uh-oh. STDs. Protection, I guess, didn't exist back then. Okay, let's see what kind of stuff we got. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. And then let's check his skills. Nope, nothing interesting. Okay, so branching path, become a burglar. Your life spent learning theory certainly didn't go to waste. You learned to live with constant fear and danger over the years. The Krutz teacher Chaya teach you valuable lessons. You learn lockpicking. Ah, I see. Okay, next branched path, fight to your last breath. Not many survived the ambush, but that just meant that the mission rewards got less takers. You were one of the lucky ones. You get 30 silver coins. Okay, and then let's stock up on food. So we get 3 dried meat, moldy bread, and cheese. Okay, branching path again. Lead an honest life. You struggled through your early life, but managed to get by as a merchant of sorts. Your skills, haggling, and speech improved over the years, and you also managed to gather some savings. You get 30 silver coins. However, your endless soul yearned for more. You couldn't just become a family man. You grew fat, make a living as a mere merchant. You were destined for more. As you grew older, you took... Okay, so we already seen this. And then let's do rush after your mission. You learn dash. Alright. So that's all the characters and all their intros. Interesting.